Good morning. Early risers. Happy April. April Fools, April 1st. I'm a fool for love, a fool for God. Great to be here with you, with the other fools. Go ahead and close your eyes, turn within, take a deep breath. We'll do some ohms and prayers and get on our way here. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. I love you. I respect you. I honor you. I set you free. I love you. I respect you. I honor you. I set you free. I love you. I respect you. I honor you. I set you free. I love me. I respect me. I honor me. I set me free. I love me. I respect me. I honor me. I set me free. I love me. I respect me. I honor me. I set me free. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Peace, peace, peace. Aho, Ashe, Alhamdulillah, Ahomatakuyasan, Shah, Buekas Ladia, Namaste, Amen, peace, peace, peace. Take a deep breath. Thank you. Let me share a few prayers From my heart to yours, may they bring you all that you are seeking and remind you of who you truly are this day and every day. I am the open door for the violet flame. I am my I am presence, and I am one with the I am presence of all humanity, as one voice, one breath, one heartbeat, and one energy, vibration, and consciousness of pure divine love. We invoke the most intensified frequencies of the fifth dimensional crystalline solar violet flame of God's infinite perfection that cosmic law will allow. Beloved Saint Germain and your legions of fifth dimensional violet flame archangels, we ask that you blaze, blaze, blaze this violet flame with the power and might of 1,000 suns in, through, and around every thought, feeling, word, action, memory, and belief that humanity has ever expressed in any time frame or dimension, both known and unknown, that is reflecting anything less than heaven on earth. Transmute this energy, cause, core, effect, record, and memory back into its original perfection and seal it in an invincible force field of God's comprehensive divine love. We accept that this activity of light is being God victoriously accomplished, even as we call. We also accept and know that this violet flame is increasing daily and hourly, moment by moment, with every single breath we take, until this sweet earth and all her life have ascended into the fifth dimensional, crystalline solar realms of light on the new earth. And so it is, beloved I am, beloved I am, beloved I am. Take a deep breath. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. Another breath. I am prosperity. I let go of the misconception that anyone or anything can withhold from me all that this abundant universe has for me now. I am an open door, and all kinds of riches flow to me now. I am an irresistible magnet with the power to draw to myself the supply of all good things, according to the thoughts, feelings, and mental pictures I continually hold in my consciousness. I realize that I am responsible for my life situation, and I have the power to create whatever I wish in my life. As of this moment, I choose to create for myself a life of health, success, happiness, and prosperity. I know that this universe is filled with God's abundance, and I accept these riches into my life now. I choose infinite abundance for myself and for all humanity. I know all of my needs will be perfectly met at all times. Rapid changes come in all aspects of my life as I now open my mind to the unlimited resources of this universe. All of my financial affairs are now in perfect order. I love doing my work, and I am richly rewarded, both creatively and financially. I give my love, my gifts, my all, and I am therefore rich, well, and happy now. I am prosperity. O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruit of your mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desire. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of the present moment. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the birth, power, and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again. We give thanks, we let it be, and so it is. Take a deep breath. Okay. Good to be here with you. Happy April, my friends. A huge month in the evolution of human consciousness in this lifetime. The pivot, the turning point, the fulcrum. Here, shout out to Charlie Kirk, the late great Charlie Kirk, who had a lot to teach the world. God bless us. May he do it in death what he strove to do in life. It's still working. Here we are, my friends. Good morning. Welcome. It is Wednesday, the 1st of April, I'll say again. And great to be here with you. An honor and a privilege. We come together where two or more are gathered together to shine our light and share our love. And for this, we were born. When we know our purpose and we live it, everything works together for good. And that's the name of the game from here on in. Here's Eileen Caddy, just get us started. Guidance for the 1st of April. Spring unfolds in true perfection. This is the spring of the new age, and it too is unfolding in the same true perfection. You are part of it, and it brings you new life. With it comes a glorious feeling of complete freedom and abandonment, of bursting out of old confined ways into new spaciousness where there are not limitations. Let me start again here. Spring unfolds in true perfection. This is the spring of the new age, and it too is unfolding in the same true perfection. You are part of it, and it brings you new life. With it comes a glorious feeling of complete freedom and abandonment, of bursting out of old confined ways into new spaciousness where there are not limitations. Feel yourself growing and expanding in every direction with the sense that anything can happen at any moment. Be like a runner at the starting line, on your toes, all keyed up, ready to be off at the starter's signal. There is so much going on at all levels at this time. Changes are coming, and you are part of those changes. So go along with them. Be willing to change and change quickly when and where necessary. Do not hesitate or hang back. Step right into all that is taking place swiftly and surely with absolute confidence and faith. Take a deep breath. Well, there it is. That's the song for today. Warriors of love, to the barricades of your heart. The Course in Miracles. Thank you, Eileen. Love that lady. What a fount of wisdom. The Course in Miracles, my friends. I was on with Mia and everyone this morning. It was great to be there. Wonderful teacher, a dear friend. Lesson 254, let every voice but God's be still in me. Father, today I would but hear your voice. In deepest silence, I would come to you to hear your voice and to receive your word. I have no prayer but this. I come to you to ask for the truth, and truth is but your will, which I would share with you today. Deep breath. Today we let no ego thoughts direct our words or actions. When such thoughts occur, we quietly step back and look at them, and then we let them go. We do not want what they would bring with them, and so we do not choose to keep them. And so they are silent now, and in the stillness, hallowed by his love. God speaks to us and tells us of our will as we have chosen to remember him. Let me do that again. Today we let no ego thoughts direct our words or actions. When such thoughts occur, we quietly step back and look at them, and then we let them go. We do not want what they would bring with them, and so we do not choose to keep them. They are silent now, and in the stillness, hallowed by his love. God speaks to us and tells us of our will as we have chosen to remember him. Beautiful. Hallowed by his love. Amazing. So, of course, this is the Holy Week between Palm Sunday and Easter Sunday, and we are being called to dive deep into our heart, soul, and spirit. And it's the end of the 40 days of Lent, where many Christians make a deliberate sacrifice of something that they would usually include in their lives. I'm not doing that at the moment. I'm just meditating my brains out is what I'm doing. Here's Abraham, and it's working pretty well, I have to tell you. Daily quote, March 31st from yesterday. Abraham, at the heart of every condition is a vibrational pattern. A rather minor tweaking of vibrational patterning, sort of like the hub of a wheel, can affect tremendously out there on the peripheral of this big wheel. A little bit of tweaking on the emotion can make big differences in the way physical manifestation occurs. Well, absolutely, this is the theme of this day and of our time, my friends. Go within or go without. If you know how to pray and meditate, you can get through anything. If you don't, you should learn how to pray and meditate, because you'll need it to get through everything. Yeah, and it is just a reminder, prayer and meditation, that we're in an illusion of separation, and the truth is we are one, and all is well. James Redfield, the author of The Celestine Prophecy. When old systems start to shake, new ways forward emerge through the cracks. Very good. With enough energy, there is nothing that can't be healed. Hatred, war, it's just a matter of coming together with the right vision. We can heal this. Hold the vision. Well, and speaking of that, Bruce, the boss, Springsteen, did his first show of his tour through the States, his No Kings tour, we'd say, and he opened it up with war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. He gave a great pitch in the dark, setting the tone for truth and integrity and courage and commitment, and praying for the safe return of the armed forces out there doing crazy stuff. My words, not his. And it was very moving. He did it in the dark, and then when he said peace or war, the band came up, the lights came up, and they were rocking it. Very beautiful. Thank you, Bruce. God bless you, man. What a champ. Eric Jensen, bearing the unbearable is the deepest root of compassion in the world. When you bear what you think you cannot bear, who you think you are dies. You become compassion. You don't have compassion, you are compassion. True compassion goes beyond empathy to being with the experience of another. You become an instrument of compassion. Ram Dass. Beautiful, stunning. So we're celebrating the life of Reiner Fulmick, who is one of the heroes of my life out there over the last several years and all that has unfolded. And he's an attorney and an activist from Germany, and he was, he's in prison for 2 years, and we'd like to see him released. I call on everyone to get behind the campaign to free him. Please continue praying, writing, supporting him, and continue sharing. The whole world needs to know what this great warrior did and what has been done to him. Thank you. Nadia Vania, free Reiner Fulmick. Yeah, a real champion of freedom. God bless you, Reiner. If you don't know his story, check it out. Ethereal Earth, bless you, Reiner. Ethereal Earth, a mysterious beam of light spotted by many in Turkey and Greece during the earthquake that occurred in the Aegean Sea. Witnesses reported seeing this massive glowing figure appearing in the clouds right as the tremors hit. Are we looking at a rare optical illusion, or did something inexplicable happen over the Aegean? Well, it's I won't move the camera, but it's an incredibly vivid representation of what looks like a man, the figure of a man, surrounded by a circle of the sun, and it's worth looking at. Yeah, amazing. Our friends DVL and Jeanette are having a holiday in Turkey, which is well deserved, and bless them both. Liliana Heitman is quoting our brother Rilke. She says, "To be what I am, to voice the things that only I can voice, to bear the blossoms that are commanded of my heart. This is what I want." Rainier Maria Rilke. Let's have that again. Could be the quote for the day right there. To be what I am, to voice the things that only I can voice, to bear the blossoms that are commanded of my heart. This is what I want. Beautiful. Message from Lorna Byrne about the resurrection. Bless you, Lorna. Ali Ray. Sometimes we don't like how we feel, what we are experiencing, or what appears to be happening. And that's all okay. It truly is. Know that it is okay to feel how you feel. Simply breathe through it all. Allow yourself and everything to be just as it is. Then when you have sufficiently felt it, breathe again and breathe again. Breathe gently and easily and allow the love and the peace that is always present, holding all that arises to rise up from within you and bring you back to love and back to peace. Imagine the pressure experienced as the tightest lotus bud breaches the mud. Imagine the pressure experienced as the tightest lotus bud breaches the mud, pushes up toward the light, and incrementally surrenders to its own blooming. It does not fight or struggle. It does not try to hurry or curse its timing. It is one with grace. It resides in the heart of God and allows itself to be just as it is, a divine reflection of love. For you, what is happening is you. The discomfort you feel is actually you acclimating to the truth within you. Beautiful. So go with the flow. Get comfortable being uncomfortable until before you know it, all of that discomfort is truly dissolved, is truly a dissolved memory. And what remains is the truth of you, the love you truly are. Be easy. Be gentle. Allow yourself to bloom. All is truly well. You are loved beyond measure. I so love you. Ali Ray. Love is, love is, love is. God is, God is, God is. Okay, my friends, yeah? Are you ready for this? Let's give you a little cry on. About 10 minutes here.
Greetings, dear one. I'm crying of magnetic service. My partner has me with him all the time. It is the creative energy. In Egypt, again, in this beautiful temple, when the sun comes up and we get to experience just what they did 5,000 years ago. Just what they did. The sun comes up and it's a glorious looking day. They built a temple to honor these kinds of things, a rejuvenation of life as the sun comes up, a new beginning as the sun comes up. That's why you're here right now in this temple, in this place, so early in the morning, to think about the fact that you are echoing what they did all those years ago. Can you feel the Creator inside? They did. They did. Can you feel perhaps there's something more than what you see? Perhaps there's an invisible force, you might call it now, that is starting to be recognized as consciousness. The theme of this short channel will be this: can consciousness influence reality? This is the beginning, according to the ancients. This time you are in is the beginning of another cycle, a cosmology cycle that just ended or is ending now, which is the wobble of the earth, the precession of the equinoxes. And we have discussed this now with you many times. But what might be different in this cycle than the last cycle did not actually have or did not understand? What will be more powerful now than anything before? Consciousness. It is being seen finally in science as energy. And then there are certain ones who will say, does consciousness, because it's energy, then affect what you would call reality? Reality is that which works for you, what does not work for you. It's the dimensionality you're in. Is it possible that consciousness might actually change that? And what would that look like? Have you heard of the law of attraction? This is the first time that the masses have started to acknowledge that perhaps what you think manifests itself in some way in the reality of your future. What you think can manifest itself in a real way for your future. Now that's science fiction to many, and yet this is catching on, you might say. And you're starting to hear it more and more. We have spoken of it for 3 decades. Dear ones, your thoughts, your consciousness, what you expect, that's the channel from yesterday. All of these things you put into that which is called the field. Now the field is something that is now being tested. Is it science? Is it not science? Could consciousness as energy actually have a form which lays around you and the planet and all, where you might be able to pick up what's going on in the field? You might have then a pre-idea of what people are thinking. If you have that, an idea of what's going on, then you might turn left instead of right. Now, is that fortune telling, or is that you using your consciousness in a new way? What if the law of attraction was you reading the field, and the field then reacting to you? This is all new. These things have been here a long time, dear ones. But the newness is the recognition that it is truth. Truth is what you discover that becomes your reality. There is a greater truth, a much greater truth. And that is going to start shaping the civilization which is coming. I speak to a group of people. The sun is coming up. You're in Egypt. You've gotten up early for this. What if I told you this was the dawning, truly, of a new civilization? Not instantly, over decades, centuries perhaps, but you're here to see it. What if it's no accident you're here? Now that was stated earlier. What if, on a cosmic level, you decided to come to the planet for this event, this new consciousness, to show others what compassion can do,
Looking to escape
what
the eyes.
kindness is all about, and that this is what really you strive for, not for the other things that have been guiding civilization for a long time. Call it the civilization of compassion, building a new land that no one has ever seen. I know it sounds pretty spectacular, but it has to start somewhere. You're sitting in a land that was the first with borders. Think of that. The first country, you might say. Think of that. It started simple, and you see the result of the complexity, the beauty, the artistry, the worship. All of the energy that went into that which was understanding Ra, God, the Creator. Not a lot different than us today, here. I am crying in love with you all for who you are and when you decided to come and listen carefully and change the planet. And so it is.
Take a deep breath. Cry on. What a blessing. It is all on the table, my friends. I want to get to Chris Bledsoe here in a moment. And this might be the time for that as well. Let me think. Have a think here. Anyway, that's beautiful wisdom, beautiful energy. Very, very powerful. Grandmother Flor de Mayo. Today's full moon in Libra arrives as a gentle teacher, guiding us back into harmony within ourselves and in our relationships. Known as the pink moon, the first full moon of the spring, it carries the wisdom of the earth. It is named for the small pink flowers that bloom in early spring, reminding us that life returns, always, even after periods of darkness and stillness. In the same way, your spirit is always finding its way back into balance. Libra brings awareness to the heart. It shows us where we may be giving too much of ourselves or where we may have closed off. It asks us to stand in truth, but to do so with compassion. Today's word for sure. Remember, balance is not about losing yourself for the sake of others. It is about honoring your spirit while remaining open in the energy of love. With love, Grandmother Flor de Mayo. Take a deep breath. Somebody shared John Lennon's song Mind Games, which I put on the page. That's a classic. Nisargadatta Maharaj. The search for reality is the most dangerous of all undertakings, for it destroys the world in which you live. The false world, the real world. IQ versus intelligence, Kathima Roba. I hear people confusing IQ with true intelligence. I felt deeply that it is very liberating to know the distinction between the two. IQ is an acquired mental capacity, conditioned by the external world. It is intellectual cleverness that can hinder the truth of who we are, spoken like the poet he is. It feeds and strengthens itself on analyzing, calculating, and categorizing. It can be a useful tool for operating in the material world, but ultimately it must be surrendered. True intelligence, it doesn't come from experience. Instead, it is our indigenous nature, a deeper knowing arising from consciousness itself, the capacity to observe the mind, thoughts, feelings, and moods without identifying with them. Formless, unchanging, and unlimited, deeply rooted in stillness, serving unity and love, unconditional and spontaneous by nature. Truly intelligent mind is transparent and porous. Like a sunflower, it allows the light of consciousness to shine through it instead of obscuring it. Beautiful. Take a deep breath. Sarah West says, I'm a devoted tree hugger, and I've been waiting years to bear hug one of these magnificent Sequoia sempervirens. When I saw this one on my forest wander yesterday, it called to me like a wise siren, and I must have spent an hour in rapturous communion with it. Trees are the breathing souls of the earth. What a gift it is to spend days in this truly ancient wonder of our world, the coastal redwoods. Yeah, that is a tree, my friends. Beautiful. David and Vivica, who I heard from yesterday, my friends who were just in Kenya for about a month, they had a wander around the sequoias as well, and some great moments captured with them also. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Where are we going? Well, I think I might just talk about Chris Bledsoe. Well, let's hear. So Chris Bledsoe is an ET contactee. I'll give you the short version. This is a 10-minute clip of him chatting with a chap named Sean Ryan. And we'll just play the clip here.
Whatever they're doing. I'm 60, almost 63. This is red on the horizon in front of the gaze of the spirit before daylight. That moment would mark a change in humanity's knowledge. They took that celestial event and ran it through these machines that showed that exact alignment will happen in 2026 at Easter.
What will happen?
When the suffering of man becomes too great, they're going to stop it. And they're going to snuff out the darkness.
Where do you think you were for the hours that you disappeared during the incident in 2007?
Well, I can tell you I had no clue until 2008 when MUFON came and did the Discovery Show. They actually sent a guy from a Harvard-trained psychiatrist that does hypnosis, and he hypnotized me first to say we're removing this block, and then we're going to come back next week and find out what happened. So he did the first one, and immediately I could think about it and not pass out or have an excruciating headache. So what he did worked. And then my wife and kids started for the next, it was about 2 weeks before they came. They were startled because when I'd go to bed, which I always went pretty early, they'd be up till late. I'd be yelling out in my sleep and screaming and talking, and they were in there filming me with cell phones and iPads while I'm doing this, saying stuff, weird stuff, like seeing beings and on Mars and all kinds of weird stuff. So eventually I began to remember some of what happened, not all, but what I can tell you, the 4 hours while I was gone was a virtual tour. I was inside a bubble, something that was solid that I could stand on, but I couldn't see the walls, but I could touch them. But I could see everything in every direction. And there were always 3 figures behind me that were shadowy, and they were narrating what I was seeing. And I saw North America from way up high. I saw the whole United States, and then I was taken to Egypt, and I saw the pyramids, and this Hathor's temple. I saw that. the Sphinx facing to the east. And then the lady comes back. The following year, after all this, this was in 2013 is when I really got that message from her, because that's when I was asked by the Pentagon, by 2 Air Force generals, to put it in writing what she told me. And I did. And this was on a request from NASA, a friend at NASA. So he come and got it and hand-delivered it to these generals. And she told me that, she said that when the star of Regulus, she called it a red star. When you look at it, it looks blue. But she said when Regulus is red on the horizon, in front of the gaze of the Sphinx, before daylight. So in other words, when it's sitting right on top of the horizon, before the sun comes up, that moment would mark a change in humanity's knowledge. And she showed me other things. War, us bombing Iran, us bombing Syria. And in them days, none of that had happened. So I put all that on this piece of paper. And now I've had so many write me back, oh my God, you see they just bombed Iran, or Iran just bombed us. You know, you were right the whole time. And I did that in 2012. And so what they did was I gave them the date of 2026, because they took that celestial event and ran it through these machines that showed that exact alignment will happen in 2026 at Easter.
What will happen?
The alignment she told me about, that the star of Regulus would be on the horizon in front of the Sphinx. At that moment, there would be a new knowledge. Well, I had no idea if this was even possible, you know, but these astronomers run it through the machines, and it comes out that star is going to come up on the horizon in Easter of 2026. And from that point forward, they started remote viewing the state. Government did. And now you hear it all over TV. 2026, that's the big date. 2027, that year, something's going to happen. Armageddon, you hear it all over. You know, you hear it on TV. If you study, like, I've heard even, well, I won't say names, but
Please do.
well, you know Lou Elizondo, right? Lou's mentioned that day. A lot of people have.
Easter 2026.
The year 2026. I gave him a specific time. And it was with Robert Grant that I told him about this alignment and all. And then he's like, oh my God. He's been looking for this ruby. This little ruby you have to find and place it between the poles of the Sphinx to make this event that he knows is going to happen in 2026. I said, Robert, it's not a ruby, it's the star of Regulus. He looks like, oh my God, it's the king star. So what's going to happen, I don't know. But I think it's possible that's the return of
Christ.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to pause it there, maybe chat with you. So that's Chris Bledsoe, who I knew nothing about until recently. I think Annie pointed this out to me. And this guy's the real deal. He was a father, a businessman, just living a very normal life. And he had some very difficult things happen in his life. He was stolen from by a business partner, something like this, and he went bankrupt, and he was wiped out, and then he got very sick. And in his pain and anguish, he called out to the universe, and who showed up were some angelic ETs, and they healed his body, and he's been on this path with them for years now. And so what he's sharing here, he says to Sean Ryan, he's not shared in 17 years. And that this is the time, this is the venue that he's been guided to share this information. So, of course, Robert Edward Grant is another hero of mine and another trailblazer who's been out there just rocking the world day after day for years, bringing the medicine. And so for Chris to be connected to Robert and the two of them figuring this mystery out together. So the lady that he talks about is this angelic ET, this very loving, enlightened angelic ET. And Chris is a Christian. And at some point here, a little further on, you'll hear Sean Ryan say, Chris, you're the only person in the ET sphere that is a believer in Jesus. And he said, yeah, don't I know it? And this is one of the reasons why he's he has had a fight to get his story out there. He was also shot and should have died. You know, many things have happened in Chris's life to get his attention, as I like to say. And he's walking in great integrity and courage and humility and devoted service to the truth as he understands it. And so here it is. So on Saturday night, I hear Ann Tucker talk about shocking things coming up in the next few weeks and how to breathe through that and how to be the light. And there were all these messages here of the law of attraction from Cryon right there again, how to create reality from the inside out, that our consciousness is co-creating the reality. The quote from Ann Tucker, from Ayala, the mother of all souls, is you're a pinpoint through which the new earth is being created. Become an ocean of light, was her quote. And then here's Chris a few days before Easter telling us that Easter Sunday is the day that 17 years ago, Our Lady, the Lady, said would be the time of the turning of the earth in the direction back into the light. And he believes it will also be the returning of Jesus Christ. So you have that to look forward to. Sunday is, of course, Easter Sunday, and it is a time of rebirth and celebration and deep spiritual alignment for billions of people around the world. And of course, in the Northern Hemisphere, it is the glory of spring. And so we have Christmas, Jesus' birth, in the dead of winter, a few days after the solstice. And then we have his death and rebirth in Easter. And of course, having read these stories in history, the man we call Jesus or Yeshua or Isis or Isa is one of many stories of the Virgin Mother and the Savior born into the world, who is also resurrected. I'm not making any of this up, but the truth is the truth, as we like to say, and we're here to find and follow our hearts and make the shift, as Anne has channeled so beautifully, from will to love. So that's my message for this morning, my friends. And you can hear the word compassion is coming up big time on this full moon in Libra. Pray for your enemies because you have none. There are many wondrous teachings. And of course, even with the life of Yeshua, there was much editing and censorship, and the women and Mary Magdalene were put aside, is the polite way to put it. We're still coming around from all of that, and this is the time of the Divine Mother, the return of the goddess, the return of love. And here we are in this stellium of 9 planets in Aries in about 2 weeks, I believe, the 17th of April. So do we have your attention? Yes, dear God, you do. All right, so that's going to do it for me this morning. Let me channel for you. Let me say thank you for being here. Let me please ask you again to look at LifeWave. You're welcome to come on to the Zoom call tonight. We're on at 7:30. LifeWave Team Ireland. The link is on my post there. You can subscribe to Substack and support morning prayers as well in that way and share that on Substack. And you can look at my LifeWave page, and this is it info. Those are very good as well. I'm just seeing the first video about the X2O light water machine from the States, and that's very exciting. And the best is yet to come. And babe, won't that be fine? Everyone wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. We do need to shed the skin. Yeah, the caterpillar needs to go so the butterfly can come. And we are as prepared as we could imagine, and more prepared than we know. I have no doubt. Just for myself, the shock of all of this and asking to integrate it, the manifestation of 5 meditation groups for me last week in 4 days was just really cosmic. And it definitely has opened what feels like a much deeper connection to my spirit than I was aware of before, for which I'm truly, truly grateful. And as always, I'm grateful for moments like this, because after the last few weeks, there is no question that things are about to change. And we're a part of that change and not apart from it. So let's dive in and see what my spirit guides have to say here with us. Chris Bledsoe, another brother on the path with us. Thank you, Brother Chris. Close your eyes, turn within, take a deep breath. I can hear the 10 o'clock bell right now, the 9 o'clock bell rather. Oh. Stretch the neck. God bless you, dear friends. Here we go, one more time. Take a deep breath. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it wonderful to discover, dear friends, that you're not alone, that you're not lost, but you are found, dear friends, yeah. That you have the amazing grace of your higher self, soul, and spirit with you, through you, and for you. And dear friends, therefore you are asked to understand, realize, and know that what is asked of you is yours to give. Nothing is asked of you, dear friends, that you do not have the power to meet, and to meet well. Take a deep breath. What is the difference between the novice and the master, dear friends? Initiation is the difference. Initiation is the experience that bridges innocence and wisdom. In the indigenous cultures, dear friends, a young boy, a young girl, when reaching the age of maturity for that culture, is taken into the wilderness and left with the blessing of the elders to have their experience, their initiation, to cry for their vision, dear friends. And the world is crying for its vision right now, dear friends. The world, in pain and fear and chaos and confusion, is reaching its hearts towards each other and crying out and asking for a better life, a better world, a better way to live together. And dear ones, a deeper understanding, a coming back to Great Spirit, dear friends, a coming back to the source, to God, Goddess, all that is, to Mother, Father, God, dear friends, to Great Spirit, Wankantanka, dear friends. God bless you. And Mother Earth, Pachamama, being conscious, knowing that Great Spirit works through Mother Earth and with Mother Earth, and they are the parents of every child of this world and every creature, dear friends. So there is a tremendous awakening, healing, and growth unfolding in your life and in your world. And we are here for that, dear friends, with you. You called us to these moments over and over again. And we've answered every call that you've allowed us to be a part of with you. The whole concept of telepathy, synchronicity, concepts, plural, telepathy, synchronicity, spirit guides, channeling, the miraculous, the mystical, the occult, the hidden, the unseen, the unknown. They're simply a shift of focus, dear friends. And as we've said, you're up-leveling, dear friends. You're upgrading, God bless you indeed, yeah? You're moving from coach to first class, dear friends. There's no doubt about it. But change is a confrontation, an encounter, a confusion. The 5 stages of grief, dear friends, God bless you. The 12 steps, yes, dear friends, God bless you. Everything is a journey, a process, a movement from one state to another state. What you're doing is raising the grounding of where you come back to. No longer coming back to the old self, the old world, the old ways of doing things, the old assumptions, the old projections, the old games, dear friends, simply put. And coming into a deeper vibration, dear friends, of integrity, authenticity, and sovereignty. Take a deep breath. Impeccability we could put in there as well, dear friends, that when your inner and your outer are more fully and completely aligned in the truth that sets you free. So you have all of those great gifts: authenticity, integrity, sovereignty, impeccability. There are some people in this world that are living this way right now, dear friends, and more are being invited, called, and made welcome into these vibrations, not through our grace and beneficence, dear friends, but through your willingness, trust, courage, and understanding, dear friends. It is the season of the heart, of love without condition, of courage without exception, of transcendence without hesitation. Dear friends, the wave is a perfect analogy. You're swimming in the ocean, you're riding your surfboard, or just swimming in the water. When you swim in the ocean, there's wave after wave, dear friends. Some are small, some are larger. Some you ride, some you let pass you by. But the ocean's waves never stop, dear friends. And so it is with your growth, your healing, your awakening, dear friends. You're learning how to sense and feel, to listen to, trust, and follow the waves as they come over you. Some are for you, to carry you forward. Others are not for you, and it's not your time to ride them. You'll know when it's your time to ride the waves, dear friends. You're here, hearing these messages right now, this moment, in your time and space, because of your alignment and attunement and receptivity to being a leader, a way shower, a light unto the world, dear friends. You're following your heart, your soul, your spirit. You're listening to the whispers, the messages, the music, and you're picking your waves, dear friends. You can't miss what is yours, dear friends. And as you draw breath in this magnificent and unprecedented time of awakening, healing, and growth, of change, dear friends, so you're being asked to hold the space for all the world, for 8 billion of your brothers and sisters, and to trust as never before, dear friends. The initiation, where we started this message today, calls upon the child to trust themselves, Mother Earth, Father Sky, in a deeper way. And as the child gets through the day and the night, in the cold and the dark, and the sounds of the animals and the unknown and their own fears, so they come to a place of surrender and openness and innocence. And then the wave picks them up and carries them, dear friends. They see the magic happens. The dawn of the new day, the bird song, a spirit animal, an elder visiting them, a message from the ancestors, a sign, the connection, your eternal oneness with all of life. Cryon has touched on it so beautifully here, dear friends. Listen to that message a good few times. You're getting it, dear friends. You're getting the picture. You have it within you to consciously create a life of joy and happiness and freedom and meaning. And you do it through love, dear friends, and only love. For only love is strong enough to overcome the illusions of separation. In the dying of the body, or the dying of the old earth, or the dying of the past, the dying of those old ideas that no longer serve you and honor you, only love can carry you to the dawn of the new day. You need nothing else, dear friends. Therefore, you have all you need. You might want or wish for or miss or regret or be attached to or resistant to all of those ideas. That is human nature as you have understood it, but you are more than that human nature. And in the rising of the light of the Christ consciousness in every man, woman, and child in this world and beyond, you are remembering and discovering and co-creating a new version, a new vision, a new idea of human nature. A spiritual being fulfilling their human promise and coming home to a being of love and light that has conquered the darkness. That's you. That's this moment. That's the Christ consciousness. That's the message of Our Lady. That's the wave. That's the initiation. That's the open door. Peace and blessings. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you, God. Wow, that is something else, my friends. Channeling is such a beautiful thing because I always receive more than I give. Reverend Michael once said, "You can't outgive God." That is the truth of it. I hope that's as helpful to you as it was to me. And thank you being on this journey here with me together as one. Peace and blessings. Have a wonderful day. If I can help you, let me know. Peace. Ho!